and he sold about 35,000 last month in a pandemic. Okay. And he started with art storefronts a year and a half ago. Okay. And I'm going to read his review, because he left a review on art storefronts, but we had him live on one of our customer sessions, our private customer sessions. And so he talked about it a little bit. This was like a week or two ago, but he said, I've been with art storefronts since the end of 2018. And I'm so glad I joined. Thanks to their website and marketing help, I have achieved record sales this month in the middle of a pandemic with all my art galleries closed. I cannot recommend art storefronts enough if you are just starting out. So it's 25 years old, 35,000 in 1 month. And I'm so pumped for him, you know? And I'll tell you, the reason I think it's important to highlight, you know, Jonah, is because he works at it, Pat. Like he grinds and he works on his business. He's got great photography, right? But he really works at it. And you know what? You and I know this, and we can't name names. But we have some world-class photographers on our platform that are like on covers of magazines that you know, guys, that you know. And Jonah is selling more than them, okay? And he's not on covers of magazines, and he doesn't have like a history of all this stuff. He is working it hard, working on his business. So if you want to know how to get to 35K a month, right? Like, you get it by working on your business, you guys. You get it. But I think what's even more amazing about it is just like, how positive is this, Pat? Like, for you guys out there to know that from your house, right? From your house, you're able to run a business of that size, right? Like that.
What other business? I mean, there's not many where you can be the creator, okay? And let's just be honest. I would way rather try to do that as an artist or photographer as I would a musician.
That's for sure.
I'm sorry.
No.
Not good odds. A dancer, a woodworker. Like, what else are you telling me, right? Like, it's really interesting in the sense that you can make the originals, but then you can also make copies. You can own 100% of it. You don't need a big team. You don't need a huge space. Like, there's some interesting parts to this, right? When you unpack
it's
it.
Awesome.
Like, yeah.
You're an inventor. You're a legitimate inventor of your own product, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth. Yeah. You're an inventor of your own products. And if you can just do the marketing and figure out the marketing, like, you can build a substantial business. And it's amazing because you don't have to, like, all of the normal things that you normally would have to do to like build a company, right? Like, if you want to buy like a franchise, you know what I mean? Like a Subway or something like that, you're going to need like $100,000 to like have this business in a box. You know what I mean? The fact that you can do this from your house and you don't need rent, you don't need a physical retail space or art gallery. You know, you don't even need, you don't need a printer. You don't need to make any of you don't need to do any of that. All you have to do is create your product, understand what your market wants, you know, get connected to it as much as possible, and do the marketing and build your business. And honestly, here's the other thing. Do you know what you normally have like problems with a business? Is that normally when I've started my companies, you've got instant overhead. You've got like, you know, you got expenses that are running, right? And so you're burning cash. Like with an art or photography business, you can grow it at your own pace. So even if you're like hacking around, like you're not sure what your niche is and you haven't gotten full traction yet, it doesn't matter because you can keep going. And what do you have? You have like a monthly expense for a website. Do you realize how zero that is in the real world? That is nothing. That is nothing. The fact that you can do that and sort of marinate and slow cook the business.
No overhead.
Insane. No overhead. Insane. And then once you figure it out, you can get to a level like this.
It's, you know, like, so, you know, if you're not a huge nerd, you probably wouldn't know this, but the internet started, right? And everyone got into like affiliate type relationships and got into drop ship e-commerce types of businesses, right? The concept sort of applies to the same. And where it goes back to is no overhead for you. You're just doing some creative work and you're getting recurring income as a result of it, right? So the affiliate link is like you sell someone else's product for them and you create the content, you put the links out there, I click on your link and buy it, you get paid, right? And this just got killed for Amazon like not that long ago. Like just Amazon killed all of their affiliate relationships. Like those guys owned the Google search for like 10 years. You know, when you search like best vacuum cleaner or best barbecue, every single solitary result was like a top 10 list with all Amazon links. And they were all affiliate links. And now that's dead. Amazon killed it. They like cut the payment down. But in e-commerce, you saw the emergence of all these dropship businesses, okay? And the notion of the dropship business is you don't make anything. You just are good at the web. And so you put a bunch of items on your store that you're not manufacturing any of them. And when they say drop ship, you get the order, the actual manufacturer ships it, you get paid, you don't do anything, right? And it's actually a great business. To your point, no overhead, right? But it's a terrible business because the margins aren't there, because you're not creating anything. And again, the rug can get pulled at any point in time.
Exactly.
Right? And
you're
so
not
this
an
is
inventor.
that, but this is that. This is that, except you control 100% of the product and you own 100% of the product.
Exactly.
It's sort of amazing. So as we wind it back, is downright frankly terrible at business as being an artist or photographer has been in years previous. Look at how cool Doug looks with his drawn in portrait on there, or the avatar on YouTube. No, it looks sick. No, I'm saying on the stream itself looks sick. But this is a huge deal. It actually, you know, granted, a disclaimer, you have to know how to actually sell your art. But once you can do that, and once you realize you could reach more people than you ever could before, and you control all of it, and no overhead, and you're the one produced, and you're the one creating it, but not responsible for shipping and printing, you know, on the print side of things.
Yeah.
You have to do that on the originals commissions. It actually becomes a significantly sexier business than it was before, straight up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, the way that I kind of look at it in my mind is like, let's say like a year ago, or at least pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic is actually the more important way to say it because everything has changed, right? Yeah. And it's better. It's never been better for artists and photographers, right? It's like, imagine these types of businesses that are like racehorses, right? And they're on the track. And so like, you know, the artist and photographer business was kind of towards the back, like not the greatest business to try to run, you know. Then e-commerce came around, right? In the early 2000s. And the playing field kind of leveled a bit, right? Now it's like, okay, wait a minute. They've got more control. They can start selling direct and do direct marketing, but it was still very hard, very, very hard. Social media platforms emerged. Now the marketing becomes easier, right? A little bit easier. And then you fast forward to today, where such a huge part of the demand is online for art, right? Now, because of the pandemic, it's 100%, right?
Yeah.
And right now at this moment, it's like 90%. And everything has changed as a result of that, right? The experience of selling art, the way we're teaching our customers to sell art, which like anyone who is seeing this is going, wait a minute, I'd rather do this than go to an art gallery. This is fun, you know? And it's just an amazing thing. And so I think after the pandemic, how does that horse race now stack up? I mean, it's like the artist, photographer, solo entrepreneur business out of your house, just kind of move to the front of that line. Just kind of move to the front of that line of solo entrepreneur businesses, like for real, you know? So like you could say, I mean, you could say like a jeweler, right? A jeweler is a creator and they invent their own product, but you know what? You got to try that. You got to try that thing on potentially, and you might want to see it on your wrist, right? Like, or the necklace, you might want to see it on yourself before you buy it. But with the art, like you could try that thing on your wall with augmented reality. It's a little bit different, but you know, the game has completely changed and it is super exciting. And so here you have it, guys. Like, that's why it's important to celebrate a photographer, you know, doing $35,000 in sales in June. Like, this just happened. Like, you got to wrap your head around that and get super excited about it and realize that we're in a whole new time. Like, we're gonna help Jonah get to $1 million in sales. He's gonna be one of the first, and I'm gonna tell you, he will be probably him. I can think of a handful of people, right? But there's going to be the first people that Art Storefronts turns into $1 million businesses. And I can't wait. And do you notice, by the way, when we're in our private member workshops and Jonah comes in and asks questions, his question isn't about, should I dip my foot in the, you know, should I do this on my market, like this one little marketing thing, you know, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that. His question is, I got a big negotiation going on here, Nick, Pat, I need your help. You guys know how to negotiate. You've negotiated big deals. How should I play this? I got I got a 20K thing on the line. I got a 10K thing on the line here. You know what I mean? It's just it's just a different level. And that's amazing. It doesn't mean that everybody else should be asking those types of questions. It just means that as your business gets to different levels, you know, the challenges that you have in terms of marketing and business, they change and they get different and they get more intense. You know, they just get higher level. And I get so excited about this personally, right? To be able to provide advice at all of these different levels. I can't wait till people are at the 500K level and when they're at the $1 million level, because I've built businesses past that, way past that, right? And the whole thing changes. It's like there's walls that I hit in building my companies from 1 million, 50,000 to 200,000, and then to 1 million, and then to 5 million, and then to 10 million. You hit walls.
Another wall. Yes, there's always.
And man, you think you're going all the way? No, you hit walls, guys. When your business grows, you hit walls, and it's like when you hit them, you will know what I mean, because you literally hit on them like the top of your head. You're just like, I cannot get past this. Like what happens is, guys, is that you start building a successful marketing machine, right? And that marketing machine eventually will only get you so far. Your revenue will grow and you will run up to a certain level of revenue, and then you will hit a wall. You'll see it. You're like, why can't I push past this number? Why can't I push past it? It's because you need to do something else on top of that. And you don't have the knowledge yet and the skills to get past that. And you need help to get there, you know? And so that's where I get really excited.
You know, there was an interesting comment, you know, as we were ranting, is the nature of the business and dropship, you know, you outsource, you don't have to do it. What would you do on the originals, right? And I get a lot of people asking questions on the originals. And here's what I would say. You know, we run those 2 shows with Laka. Laka sold 65 pieces. And the next thing you know, he has to go dark for a week shipping, right? And I look at that and it infuriates me. It infuriates me because there is no leverage in you doing the damn shipping when you can go and have an art show and sell $30,000 worth of work. So my answer is, yeah, you've got originals, systems, and employees, right? It's not your time to be
I got to talk to Matthew. I got to talk to Matthew, because what he needs to do is he needs to go. Yeah, well, no. I've got, like, I don't know if you said this to him, but I'll tell you what he should do. He should go to the local fine art print studio who is struggling like crazy and make a deal, because they have all the packaging to ship art. They have all of it, okay? Make a deal and say, how much will you charge me to box and ship, 30 pieces, right? And he'll get a great deal on it, way better than going to like a UPS store. That guy needs business, and it's a win-win for both of them. He helps the local fine art printing company, and Matthew doesn't have to ship any of them, and he's way better off, and he's back to marketing.
Yeah, I mean, look, the larger picture is this is just that thing you don't have to worry about until you start selling, more than one a week, right? If it's just one a week, then you know what, you're going to just ship it, and that's part of your business.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
Yeah, but if you start getting up there, you're not shipping your own originals. I think like one of the biggest things that we advocate that is poo-pooed or not like spoken about enough is, if it is not seriously leveraging, like if your time is not spent growing the business, get it off your plate. If whatever you're doing is not something that is growing your business significantly, getting more leads, increasing your sales, get it off your damn plate. And marketing is that. Marketing is the one thing you should be spending your time on, right? Like, yes, creating, and yes, that has to happen, but the marketing, anything else, admin, like that's why we tell no one to print. Like, if we just continue to advance our system to take more and more of that knucklehead stuff, like SEO, right? That last feature update snatched the SEO right out of their hands. No more doing that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Automatic art SEO, done.
We don't even talk about that feature anymore, because that was 2 weeks ago. It's 3 weeks ago now, right?
Exactly.
The premise, though, is if you're not working on the highest leverage thing for your business, then you are not maximizing your time. You are not getting the most ROI out of your time, right? And all of these things that we talk about, the print on demand, the art SEO, right? Like the shipping originals, like all of it. Like if you're not working on growing the business, your business is not going to grow. That's it.
Yep, exactly. There's a management philosophy. Those of you who might come from the corporate world might know about this. It's called start, stop, continue. Are you familiar with this? So like yeah. So there's, for those of you who have not heard of this, it's like if you're having a one-on-one meeting with an employee or a team is meeting, right? It's actually really productive. You get together and you have, like, on a whiteboard, you have stop and like as one column, start and continue. Each have their own columns, and you basically go. You meet together and you decide, what do we need to stop doing? Okay, this next month or this next quarter. What do we need to start doing? Okay, and what do we need to continue doing? And I think that we may need to have a workshop on this for everybody, because this could be very effective for people. There's so, like, what are you doing that you need to stop, right? Are you monkeying around with prints? Are you monkeying around with your website too much? You know, what do you need to stop that's making you not contact, you know, like do all of the lead acquisition? I'm speaking to our Art Storefronts members right now. What is on there? Because I want to get that all in the stop column, right? Pat, think about how much stop column we would have for a lot of people, right? The stop, start, and the continue. It's a very simple way of looking at holistically at everything that you're doing. You should do it for yourself. You know, like, I think about this stuff all the time. It's very effective to do for yourself, because as we go along, we seem to add things on. Like, it's like we're adding like buttons or pins to our vest, like, you know, like in that movie Office Space, what do they call it? Flair, exactly. You're adding flair. It's like you just keep adorning yourself with all this stuff, and at certain points you got to purge, right? You got to purge. Like, think about all the things that the marketing department is doing at Art Storefronts. Like, there's so much that you have everybody doing, right? It's just crazy. At a certain point, you have to stop, start, and continue. You have to purge some things, because you got to go like, hey, we've sprayed all of this stuff out there. What's working well? What's not? And what do we need to? What should we keep doing? What should we stop doing? And maybe what should we start doing next? You know, it's a very like effective way of thinking about things, and I think all of you would benefit from that.
Yeah, it also too, and like, you know, go back to what we discovered with our lives, right? Like, you think you're working on something that's important and like a very like essential business function, and you do it and you're busy and it takes up all the time and you feel like you accomplished something, and then it takes actually doing the right thing and seeing what happens as a result of it to realize, no, you were not doing the right thing. No, you were not doing the right thing, right?
Yeah, you know, and by the way, since we're on this topic, guys, there's a really great book that you might enjoy, and it's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Okay, he's the founder of Keller Williams Realty. You know, he's a billionaire and just a really smart guy. But great book. It's called The One Thing, and it gets you to really think about, like, what is the one thing that you need to be doing that's gonna, like, his visual is these dominoes, right? Like, you want to push that first domino over that really matters, because if you keep pushing the most important domino over every day, it sets into motion like this major momentum. And so if you have problems like prioritizing and understanding what to focus on, that's a pretty good book to add to your stack.
Yeah. It's sort of wild. It's sort of wild to think that, like, literally everything's changing. Literally everything's changing. And
everything is changing. It's wild.
Being an artist and being a photographer, you know, being a solo entrepreneur, owning all of your distribution, owning all of your revenue sources 100%, or if you have some offline, you know, some galleries, whatever. But it actually has become a way sexier business in the last 6 months than it ever has been before. Right? So
Steven's saying, yeah, oh, dude, for sure. It's just unbelievable. We have to celebrate that. We've all got to just like high five. Like, you know how pumped I am for all of you guys? Like, especially our Art Storefronts members, Gretchen, you know, Tony, all of you on here, Kimberly, you know, Mariah, Steven, yeah, like Deborah Herbert, all of you guys. Like, I think about this stuff. I know Pat does too. Like, it's like, you guys are like our family members, right? Like, we're all like a family. Like, I remember I came back from like a short vacation. Right. People were like, hey, Nick, how was your vacation? You know, and I'm like, this is so great, you know? And then we've got other members that are on vacation, but like, I'm so pumped for all of you guys, because we were going to do this and we were training all you guys anyway, right? But to see this happen to the industry, right? I mean, it's a sad thing. It's happening as a result of the pandemic, but like, I mean, it has never been brighter for you for the next however many years. Probably it's only going to get better from here. It never gets worse, you know, because the power always eventually shifts to the creator, right? So it's just a matter of time. But because the pandemic accelerated technology adoption by like 10 years, it accelerated your own time frame, you know, and the ceiling that you had over your head went for like of how much revenue you could get realistically at home went from here to like here. You can't even see it on the screen. And that's what Pat and I are talking about.
Yeah, it's like we're fired up about it because we see the whole perspective. Don't think, because I know there's people on here first time, it's like, oh, you know, they're throwing out the big numbers. You still have to do the work, right? You still have to do the work, and you still have to grind out and everything else. But at the same time, it has just become such a more attractive business model based on the way that technology has changed through this pandemic, based on the fact that it's so much easier now to own 100% of your distribution. Basically, you have to only build your only little audience. And then, like, if we look at like the nationwide numbers of what constitutes an SMB and what constitutes an SMB in terms of revenue, in terms of margins, and all the rest, like, it's actually a really attractive freaking small business. It's not retail. You're not open 7 days a week. You don't have rent. You don't have any overhead. You're not paying any suppliers. You don't need any credit. You don't have any supplies for the most part. You know, not supplies, but you don't have like. You're not sitting on inventory forever and ever and ever.
Right.
Especially with our strategies. There's like 55 things in there that like make it attractive on paper, legitimate business. For sure. There's no doubt. Awesome small business. And some of you guys, like, getting to the 6 figures and quitting the day job is a win. Some are going to make millions. Straight up.
Yeah. Some are going to. I know, it's crazy. It's amazing. So Steven Sample was asking. I put the thing up real quick, but Steven, he was saying
he's been around forever. Steven knows it all.
Yeah, exactly. He said, I'm ready to go to the next level. He's got his phone number on there. Steven, it's missing a digit, but either way, don't put your phone number in the comments. I want you to be safe. Don't put it in the comments. What you need to do, if anyone's interested in joining Art Storefronts or just learning more, the next step is just to request a demo. Okay. On Instagram, there's a link in our bio. On Facebook, there should be a link in this post like that you're watching, like in the description. And the request a demo button is always on our website at artstorefronts.com in the upper right-hand corner. There's always a big button that says request a demo. Just do that. And then one of our onboarding team members will call you, take a look at your art, see what your goals are, and just make sure that you're a good fit. And then they can do a demo and show you everything that we do. Okay, from start to finish and all the pricing and everything like that. So that's the next step. And then also, we are running a summer special. We extended it from June. So we're running it through July. So it's a great time to save money on the membership and get in, you know, at a good price. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. Yeah, so 35K in 1 month though, Pat. Did you ever think that, like, you know, 2 years ago,
in a pandemic, and that dude's in galleries, and none of his galleries are open.
Yeah, none of the galleries are open, and he just pulled that off. You know, it's just awesome, just awesome.
Yeah, David, you're a customer. We have automatic SEO, dude. It's done for you.
This is the thing. It's like we've really like
we move on used to so quickly. We don't even have the time to articulate them.
We don't even have time to talk about all the features. Like we used to, like, I just remember 2 years ago, right? Whenever we'd have a new feature release, because we released features really fast on the website, right? And so we would always have releases like every month and announcements. We barely even do them anymore because it's like we need to have like a bulleted list every week of like things that are like features that are being shipped, right? Like they're live, they're already there. But David, the automatic art SEO is what we were talking about. You can probably find it on our blog. Did we even do an announcement on it? I think we did, actually.
I don't know. You
don't think so? I think we did because we knew we needed to, because we needed everybody to stop focusing on SEO. So we just do the whole thing for you. It's just done. No, you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything, David. It's turned on by default. By the way, I had somebody leave a comment. Did you see him? That said, like, dude, by the way, the SEO is working incredible. My results are popping everywhere. The language is perfect.
I know.
Where was that?
It's just awesome. And he didn't have to do anything. You know?
Where was that? I gotta get that the social proof.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was a couple of days ago. Maybe it was on Monday.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Randy's saying we did do an announcement.
I don't know if we did it like an actual blog post though. But case in point, like, again, it's the premise. The premise is you should not be spending your time on SEO. And guess what everyone was doing like a year ago? We would get on the not a year ago because we didn't have them, but even on the first like office hour sessions, we get like 30 people asking about SEO. How many of those questions have we got since then?
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah,
and how many do we want to get? Zero. SEO. We got a question on Instagram. What does SEO stand for? Search engine optimization, which there's a lot in that. In this case, we're talking about artists and photographers uploading their work, properly naming it, and properly giving it a meta description, and then that allowing Google to know what it is, and then properly, including it in their search engine results. So that's what it is. And 20 years ago, it was a good idea to spend a bunch of time on it. Now it's not, because there's not a lot of leverage in it. Now, that's not to say you can't get some traffic from it, what's called organic traffic. Organic traffic is people typing things into a search engine, somehow finding your art and buying it, okay? So this is one of these things that, like, it used to be called mountebanks. You ever heard that word? Like, otherwise known as quacks, right? The guys that, like, bring the wagons into town and have, like, all these things that they're selling, in like 1800s days, like, this will cure, the common cold, right?
Can you imagine those days? So funny.
It'd be amazing. But the people that sell SEO services to artists are the modern day, mountebanks,
so
right?
Charlatans.
Yeah, because it does not work, okay? And all these artists are sold this bill of goods that you can pay $2,500 to somebody, and all of a sudden customers are just going to be raining right into your business. You're not going to have to do anything, and it's going to work. And, like, we've had multiple customers take into the cleaners on this, multiple people that are still getting pitched it all the time. Oh, I'm going to get you listed on all the directories. It's going to be great. It's not great.
When we do our free art business consulting sessions, we should start telling people, we should start just saying, you guys, don't ever buy an SEO package, ever. Don't go to an SEO class. You're being scammed. You're being sold you might as well be, like, learning how to, do, like, print advertising for, like, direct mail. Like, you're getting sold a tactic that stopped working 10 years ago, that stopped having an ROI on your time 10 years ago. We should start saying that. On that note, by the way, we are having a non-art storefronts customer session tomorrow, okay? Free art business and marketing consulting for you guys, all right? If you're not a customer, this is for you, all right? Patrick and I are doing it. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, okay? If you haven't seen one of these sessions are amazing, okay? You get so much value out of them. They've just turned out to be just awesome. If you want to see one, you can scroll up in our, or scroll down in our Facebook feed, and you can see the one from yesterday that we did, which was an amazing session.
April's got it updated too. The link tree goes to the newest. Don't you like it when you set your system in place and something actually gets done? I was auditing her right there. I didn't know if it was going to be right. April, huge props. You updated the link tree with the newest link. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Nice job, April.
Yeah. So
what does that mean? That means on Instagram, there's actually a registration link for that right now.
Yeah.
For the what that means?
Yep.
For the new one.
Right
nice.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
And then what about on Facebook? What should they do? They just need to join our email list.
Yeah, join our email list. The
Zoom link is always on our email list, guys. It's always on our email list. So join our email list if you haven't already.
I suppose we could probably just use Linktree for everything. It's probably not a bad idea, to be honest with you.
It's not a bad idea. Just standardize on that.
Yeah, you just update one thing instead of a bunch of things. You can't update everything all at the same time. It's too annoying. I don't know.
There's quite a few useful things on there as well.
Yeah.
Like there's some useful links that we have.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily need to be Linktree, by the way. There's 25 competitors, and I want to feel like I'm promoting those guys. But okay, we're good on that. I got to go pick the kiddos up from school.
All right, perfect, guys. All right, so final reminder, if you are interested in joining Art Storefronts, request a demo. That's the next step, okay? Or if you're interested in learning more, is what I should say, actually, because you may not know much about us. You want to learn more. You're not sure if it's a fit. Our team is awesome. They'll help you answer your questions and all that stuff. And then come to the session tomorrow. If you're stuck, and what we ask people to do is bring the number one, problem that you think is holding your art business back. Where are you stuck? Why are you not getting started? What is it? Okay? And we will help you. One. There's one thing. Try to boil it down to one and bring it to us, and come on the Zoom call, and you can talk to us live. We're on video. we unmute you and we actually talk to you. It's pretty cool. So if you have any artist or photographer that you know that needs help, it's free art business consulting. Take advantage of it, guys. Take advantage of it.
Look at that. Yeah, social proof built in.
Thanks,
June.
Thanks, June. Thank you, June. June's a great member. Such a positive attitude.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys. Yeah, I gotta end this one. All right.